Hey everyone, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope you're all having a great time with family and friends. Just creating this quick video for the Christmas season. I have had a couple people ask me, they've noticed that I have indicators at the top of my screen, and I figured I would just let people know the exact indicators that I currently use. These are not typical indicators that you are probably used to seeing. We're just going to go through the ones that I currently use. And I don't use these every day, guys. Some of these indicators I created for the mentorship group. So some people use these, some people don't. But I just have them on the charts, even though I rarely ever have them actually turned on. So let's go through the first one here. The first one is the higher time frame overlay. Okay. This indicator allows me to show any time frame I want, 1 second, 5 second, whatever, okay, as an overlay during while I'm trading on any time frame that I'm actually looking at. Instead of having to split my view or my screen, etc., I like to see what the 15-minute is doing and where the 15-minute supply and demand zones are while I'm actually trading, right? So with live price currently right now, you can see that price is falling and it's coming down into this overall 15-minute demand zone area. Okay, and we can see that by looking at this sell to buy. And we can see that there's no wicks here. So we know automatically that this area is a fair value gap and price is now coming down to fill it. Okay. So this is a great tool for people that want to see what the 15-minute supply and demand zones are while they're looking at, even the 15-second chart. Because sometimes I've noticed that students were getting lost in the lower time frames and they weren't really remembering where they were buying and selling. Therefore, having a little overlay here allows them to see, are we trending upwards? So for instance, this price action here, were we trending upwards? Was this pullback, a reversal? And it looks like no, that pullback was just overall to the support here and back into the flip zone that actually created the break. Therefore, we can know that if price now breaks again, we can ride that price action back up because we're trending on the 15-minute time frame. Okay. So that's indicator number one. The second, I'm just going to turn that off. These other two indicators, guys, are just the watermark indicators. So where it says Impact FX and the Euro USD. So those aren't really anything overly important. As you can see, it just turns it on and off. Okay, so I just have those on there because I like to have my brand on there. The day text indicator, guys, this one's a great one. So I use this to understand the weekly cycle. Okay, so if I actually zoom out here, let's go to the 15-minute chart. And we turn this on, we can see what the overall price action is doing during the week. And this is really important because if you understand and learn the weekly cycles, is that a lot of times Monday and Tuesdays put in the high and low of the day, Wednesdays is your Wednesday and part of Thursday is your body, and then Friday tends to be that wick creation for the weekly candle, and we can start to get into price action moves based on a weekly candle play. Now, as you can see over the last few weeks, we've created literally just a range. So the weekly candles haven't done anything, right? The weekly candles have basically all just been dojis. So we don't necessarily use that same principle while the weekly is printing as a range. However, if you start to look at this kind of price action here, and we go back to these candles, and we go to the 15-minute chart, we start to notice here that in this case here, Monday put in a low. Now it did rocket up, okay? And then it comes back down. Wednesday now starts making the overall body back of the candle. And then Friday ended up being that kind of wick drop off, but then it rebalanced itself. So this is not like a normal typical week. As you can see here, typical week, Monday put in the low. Then Tuesday and Wednesday created the body. Thursday kind of flattened out and Friday created a wick. Okay, so if we actually look at this indicator here, which is the next indicator, so if we actually put this indicator on here, which is the next indicator, and it's a higher time frame candle indicator, okay? And the reason I use this indicator sometimes is that, again, it comes down to, let's put this, take off replay mode. It comes down to understanding where support and resistance are of your 15-minute price action. So this indicator is a good indicator because, again, it also allows you to see what the 15-minute candles are doing while you are on a lower time frame. As price is making its 15-minute trends, where the supply and demand zones are from a wick perspective, right? So this ended up being your flip zone here. And then you had another little, it took a little bit of liquidity here, came perfectly into this flip. This flip, guys, was the break of the last high here. So then what does price do? Price chalks, comes back into the origin, OB, which is this one right here. And again, these origin OB guys are on the 1 minute. So if we were to mark those on the 1 minute, right? So you can see if we were to mark those on the 1 minute, that's a perfect nice OB that chalked, boom, price then accumulated, and we could have been in a really nice buy, knowing that the 15-minute took liquidity and OFC'd, all while looking at the 15-second chart, because you can see the candles printing. And then you know, oh, well, this sell to buy that broke structure is an order block, and you can be trading block flow off that. So as you can see, guys, the indicators that are on my chart, they are not classic indicators that, you know, some people would use. These are simply price action indicators so that the students and people, when I'm educating them, I can show them how the 15-minute structure relates to the lower time frame structure, and it gives people a better sense of clarity as they're looking at all this minutia data, right? So we start to see, this was a trade I took last week actually. So you can start to see that we break order flow, we come back into this flip, and then we had a really, really nice buy all the way back up into overall supply zone here, okay? And then price ended up falling again, and you can be looking at what? The same sort of thing, right? So we had an order flow change here because that's your wick, and then we had new buy to sell. So this is a buy to sell. So right there, from there to there, is actually a 15-minute supply zone. So then when price comes down and comes back up, we can look for our unmitigated OBs. And what does price do? Creates another buy to sell zone. So there is another supply zone. Price goes down, comes up, and then you can be looking to keep shorting. Price OFCs, right? So there's your demand. So it starts to really help you understand where price actually is going, and you can start picking the markets apart up and down as price is making supply and demand. Wow, that was a massive wick right there. This is why you don't trade this time of day. But so yeah, I hope that was helpful. This is just a quick little video for the community, just to see someone ask this question on, you know, the indicators that I use. And like I said, I don't use typical indicators, guys. I'm a raw price action trader. So the only reason I have these on there is to sometimes give myself clarity if I feel like I'm getting lost on the lower time frames, or to help students as I'm educating them throughout the weeks. So I just tend to just leave them on my charts. All right. So I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you for more content in the new year.